Guys, thanks for tuning into our podcast. If you do enjoy this, please make sure you share it with a mate. It's not that much that we're asking. We really appreciate it. But yeah, just keep listening and hope you enjoy the banter that we've been having.
You don't know who she is, Cotty.
No, I do now. I do now.
I'll have to get you back on when we do get Metamucil as a sponsor eventually.
This thing called the reverse goat piss. Basically the same thing. Tuck your dick, piss in the trough backwards.
Was he blind before the Big Les show come out?
Lang Park, mate, Queensland.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back to On the Piss. I fucked it. Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of On the Piss. You're with Klutz Das and our good mate Eden. How we going?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Keen for a few beers and
It's good. Hang on, sorry, just got to adjust something quickly.
What? He's tried to set the camera up before we started, but was it not wide enough for him? Couldn't fit him in frame.
Absolute stitch up.
For those who don't know, Eden does have quite wide shoulders.
Yeah, so sorry, I didn't actually adhere to your request before this. We wanted to get all these gains in the video, so he's had to adjust that. So there we go, mate.
Should be able to see better now.
I just
Anyone
want
watching?
I just want to point out that I wore my Birks today.
Yeah.
Better, right?
Nice.
Especially you, Zach Dedham.
Yeah.
If
Toes on show. That's
Yeah.
the tagline for the podcast.
Toes on show. It's actually
It's a movement.
Yeah, it is. It's a little preview of our OnlyFans page that we've been teasing for the last few weeks. It will be coming soon, featuring pictures of feet and toes from our members. So this is mine if you have a look at the camera.
Yeah, that'll get the juices flowing.
And we go there. I think this one might have like a little plantar wart thing on the bottom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
it's pretty hot.
Did you see a podiatrist about that?
I've had it for ages and I'm dealing with it.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Actually, I don't know whether I'm jealous of Erin or I feel a bit sorry for her.
I feel sorry for her. I'm a pig.
Yeah. Disgrace to Morrison, man.
That is me. The biggest disgrace to Morrison, man.
Club footy's back, Clutzy. How was it yesterday, mate?
It was great. Good to be back. Very exhausting.
Yeah.
It took me 2 or 3 hours to get to the paddo yesterday because I just sat at home basically crying. I was in all sorts. Headache.
Just emotional.
Yeah, someone was like, "Oh, did you get a concussion?" No, I don't think I got a concussion. I didn't do much. I had the ball stripped off me 4 times, and I was not happy about that.
How was the fitness?
A lot better than I expected. But as I said, trial games are the way I take a trial game is it's not.
So it was yesterday a trial.
Yeah, yesterday was a trial. Next week's a trial, and then we're into round 1 against Brothers. So
Right.
match fitness is different to any other type of fitness. So
And you're lacking in all types.
I'm
actually
lacking
still
in
has
all
none.
types of fitness. So I said to the coaches, I'm just going to run. Like, I'll follow the play. I'll do stuff if it comes near me, but I'm just going to try and run. Just...
You're a bit of a head case as well when you play footy. I've seen you. You like to...
I actually do have a story about that yesterday.
Did you stand on someone or something? I've seen you do that.
Not this time.
Jeez, you're a good bloke.
A couple of our mates who have been on the podcast before, Rory and Jackson, came down for a supportive Prem grade, but got there early enough to see me. And I made some good meters, and then this fella just ripped the ball off me. I was going, fuck! And I was so angry, and I was just so determined to get the ball back. I just had one thing on my mind. It was like, find the prick with the ball and hit him and get it back. Sort of didn't realise the ref was in my direct line of running, and I've just run straight into the back of the ref and shouldered the cunt out of the way. And, sorry, first one. We're only less than 5 minutes in.
5 minutes ago, just try not to drop the C-bomb.
Yeah.
And here we are.
We say it every week.
Yeah, but it was like West captain and the ref jogging to the play, and I've just gone steamrolling between them and just shouldered both of them out of the way. And, I don't know. I just sort of get in this black fit of rage sometimes. It doesn't really happen often. I'm pretty placid on the field because it is lower grade footy. But when the switch flicks, it's a bit fucked.
Clutzy, I have seen you go out of your way to stand on someone's arm in a ruck.
It's all about intimidation. I was
Did you break his arm?
I don't know. I didn't do a trigger on Tom Cramsey. So.
Oh.
Just a bit of studs in the arm.
It's. I don't know. All right.
I'm pretty sure I've seen you fire up a touch footy, mate.
Yeah, I get pretty angry. I hate it. always, I go off.
Someone doesn't pass you the ball, you go out to the wing and you just sulk for a bit. Like,
Well,
What about that game
if
when?
you got Corey Oates on the wing, circa 2016, of course you're going to give it to him to finish.
What about that game we played when we didn't take ourselves too seriously and we used to fuck around a fair bit?
I know
and-
exactly where this is going.
And Klutzy, the team we played were the biggest bunch of gims. Like they were trying so hard, and I thought they were fucking awesome. They were pretty good, but I think we were beating him. And this Klutzy was down in the wing, and he's just abusing this bloke and the other team. Like, you think you're so fucking cool? Look at us. We don't even care, and we're beating you. Like going off at him, just spraying him. And it's literally the last play of the game, and the bloke just ran around Klutzy and scored in the corner.
To be fair, I got my fingers to the ball and it tipped straight into his arms, and
And we lost.
you had nowhere to go then as well. He just stared at you and you were just like, oh.
Yeah, but he got sent off because we had to kick off, and he's abusing me, and the ref has just gone, nah, mate, come on, we can't have any of that. I've just been abusing this guy for the entire game, and he gets sent off. So I think it was a win. Like, we drew the game, but we won the battle.
But
So.
I bet that bloke doesn't have a beer podcast.
Exactly.
No, he doesn't, exactly. So shout out to that bloke.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
Sponsors of this week's podcast is that bloke from
Yeah.
Ashgrove
Is that bloke
TRL.
from Ashgrove TRL? Yeah, not the greatest
Monday
TRL
night
comp I've
men's
ever been
division.
in.
Yeah, mate. Actually, Ashgrove TRL, I've got a bone to pick with them.
Good.
They got to sort those fields out. For anyone who played, the fields were fucked.
There's an ACL or an ankle every week.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
It's like
saw a couple of
just
broken
dust
ankles.
bowls.
Like, we had to, a 9:15 game is late enough as it is, but when some poor prick breaks his ankle and you got to play at 9:45, well,
The Dorrington Park.
And you can't even
dust
see
bowl.
anything because the
Yeah.
lights are like not bright enough.
yeah.
Worst fields ever.
Well, it's because
I'm all about TRL Kedron.
Oh, you love Shaw Park.
Shaw Park.
You'd get married at Shaw Park if you could.
Yeah, have the ceremony in North's Rugby. That'd be great.
Have
Geez, already
The
planted it.
clubhouse. Yeah.
Far out.
Why do you think I'm like trying to be so nice to Sterling?
That's fair
Get
enough.
in at
Do
North.
you remember playing cricket there when Shooksy hit
Yeah.
one of the blokes on the
Yeah.
nets?
Yeah, that was big. I actually played a lot of sport there. I went to a 21st there recently.
Really?
Yeah.
Your year
Interesting.
8 party was there.
It was.
Yeah.
At the volleyball courts.
Volleyball.
Yeah, that was fun.
Must have been lows.
Yeah, it was pretty
Cheers for the
crazy.
invite.
Yeah.
I don't even think I knew you in year 8,
No,
really.
it was the start of year 8 as well.
Oh, yeah, so
My
we're early
birthday's in
cricket
January.
boys.
Yeah.
That's right.
Fucking hell, eh?
We're old.
Yeah.
Oh, what a time to be alive. Actually, some bloke, going back to footy, the other day, he's
All
the same.
things go back to footy.
Exactly, but we were having this argument. We were like, okay, we're 8 years out of school now.
Fucked.
Why would you try and, like, this guy's a couple of years below us, but why would you try and flex your old school, like,
Yeah.
how people played in school? This bloke, he went to St. Peter's, right?
Oh.
And he goes to us.
Scumbag.
He goes, oh, the team we're playing on the weekend's going to be so difficult. I went to school and they're such a mobile forward pack, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, mate, how many years out of school are
20
you?
kilos
Yeah,
heavier.
he's like, oh, I'm 5 years out of school. I was like, so you're saying that these guys are good footy players because you played with them 5 years ago in school? I was like, I think we're going to absolutely monster them. And I was like,
Also-
why are you trying to flex that you went to St. Peter's? You guys are the most useless cunts I've ever come across.
Number 2.
I think
Number
you got to hold on to the wins. I'll put,
Yeah.
put first cricket on my resume. Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
It's
would.
just- Yeah, nah, so I don't know. Like, I just don't get why you try and flex things that are so like
But-
long ago.
In old mates, in fairness to old mate, not much has changed in 8 years.
No.
Like, what have we been doing since we just do the same shit every weekend?
Sinking piss.
drinking
Yeah.
beers.
Yeah, at the pub.
Watching footy.
Literally last night we were at the pub drinking beers.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was crazy.
It's crazy.
Shout out to the paddock.
Shout out to the Pato, sponsor the podcast. Keep them open.
Yeah,
Keep them open.
We should probably
Because they're not going to be open for much longer. I must say, though, if they're not going to be open, we're actually coming live from the Caxton.
Yeah, I was going to say, we should shout out the
So
Caxton.
the Pato's going to be closed. The Caxton will still be open, so make sure you get up here and sit down and go by all the laws,
Yeah.
unlike every 18-year-old at the Pato last night.
Don't wanna-
Don't jump any fences.
Don't want to end up
Yeah.
like Victoria.
Don't want
exactly.
to walk behind the bar and pour your own beer, do you, Eden?
No, that'd be really dumb. What a fuck.
Yeah.
That was hilarious,
Yeah.
though.
So yeah, Eden's banned from the paddock.
But that's just
why we.
that's a classic Eden move. Like, you're a bit of a pest on the piss. One thing that comes to mind
so
straight
rich,
away.
Yeah. Pot kettle black.
Well, I think it comes to mind, though. Remember, we were at the Flying Cock.
I
RIP
knew-
the Flying
I
Cock.
knew this was going to come up.
But Eden just gets in these moods, and it's really weird. This one mood was grabbing Tabasco sauce from all over the flying cot and being like, "Oh, are you still gonna drink that?" And you're like, "What?" And he's like, "It's a bit spicy." And he'll just pour Tabasco sauce in your beer or your rum, and then he'd be like, "Oh, if you don't want it, I'll have it," and then just neck it.
Sometimes I just turn into that bloke that, you know, when you have a beer and someone hits the top of the beer.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Like,
Great. That's a good. I like that play though. It's funny. That's pretty scat. Why do they have Tabasco sauce in the flying cot?
that's probably why it's not open anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, spending too much money on Tabasco sauce.
No, Eden's fucking stealing it all by the sounds of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think every group of mates has that, like, bit of a dickhead.
I think our group of mates has got
a lot of them.
100% hit ratio.
Yeah.
Like, we're all
Yeah.
fuckwits.
Clutch, you're on my cord. And,
Oh, sorry.
Those big legs.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll just go like this and I'll feel a little bit better.
Smell your feet.
Yeah.
You need a pair of Birks, mate.
I don't know. I just need to stop not wearing shoes.
Nah, fuck that. I hate
Actually,
shoes.
I am wearing shoes because this is a licensed establishment.
Yeah.
All above board this podcast.
Yeah,
we
we
remain
can.
seated at all stages.
At the Caxton.
Yeah.
Just got to throw that one in there.
Great place.
Actually,
Love this
is a
place.
fucking ripper pub.
It's been.
I can't imagine living somewhere that doesn't have like a pub like the Caxton. Like,
Yeah.
Like you go to the footy in Sydney to ANZ Stadium or whatever, and it's shit. Like there's no pub. There's no like place
Really?
that everyone congregates.
Oh, really?
No. There's like because it's so far away. It's
Yeah.
an hour out of the city.
Yeah.
To get out, there's a pain in the ass, and then you get there and there's just nothing going on outside. Like,
Yeah,
you have to just go
that's
straight.
so
in.
shit.
And then the game finishes, and the little precinct that they try and set up, that all shuts at like 10:30. So
It's
like,
literally the best part about going to the footy is coming to the Caxton before and after the
Oh
footy.
yeah.
I don't know what it is about the Caxton, but I have to drink rum when I'm here. Like,
Yeah.
After I never really drank rum, but then after the footy in winter, rum and cokes. Like,
Yeah.
I never drink rum and
usually
Coke.
go to is a vodka and something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mate, I was on the rums
Yeah.
last night.
Oh.
I don't. They're actually
Oh.
they're so good when it's cold. I reckon. I don't know what
Yeah,
it is. Like,
it's
They
like
make
the
me
stout
so
of
sick.
spirits.
yeah. The worst is the hangover, the sugar the next day. Though.
Oh.
Did you ever vomit this morning?
Nah, I was in bed at 10:30 though, so
You go from like
completely
here
blind.
to here in like 2
Mate, I was
seconds.
pissed before I even got to the paddo yesterday. But anyway,
A few beers.
yeah, couple.
Were they bloody brilliant? Oh.
They were. I must say, actually, I
Ching.
am a huge fan of the Goat. Very enjoyable beer. It's fucking awesome.
I saw you got roasted for posting your third
Rory
review
got
of it.
roasted by
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Uh,
I was
He
sitting
deleted
next
that
to,
this morning.
Did he?
Cat, yeah. Calling you out,
I was
Ross.
sitting next to him when he was abusing you. on
Yeah, I
that,
was sitting next to
actually.
him as well.
And then I was just commenting, and he just looked at me and just going, "You want to go, Matt?" And I was like,
I had like three people message me being like, "Is that Roy Driscoll bloke your mate, or like, is he actually taking the piss?" I was like, "Yeah." He's
what did you
actually
say
taking
when they asked if it was
Yeah,
your
to
mate?
scratch.
the piss." He's your mate.
Yeah.
"Oh, it's so
Oh,
good."
brother, I wonder how he's going today.
Probably not well.
He's in Verdansk, actually. He's taking a trip to Verdansk. Hopefully they get some dubs in Warzone. It's been a while.
Mm.
Gotta love it.
That's your hobby.
It is. I secretly hope we go back into lockdown so I can
Play more Warzone.
increase my
Game.
Warzone playtime, yeah.
Fuck, increase, mate. That's
I
weird.
actually don't play as much as anyone. Like, all right.
There's some
I would just like to shout out good mate Hurdy here. So this bloke works full-time Monday to Friday.
Must be
I
nice.
do not work full-time. I work casual, and I don't do much with my life. And, okay, since I downloaded Warzone, I might have, I think, 7 or 8 days playtime. That's a lot. Hurdy working full-time has just about 19.
Fuck.
I think if we're talking about gaming numbers, we have to talk about Zach Tenham.
Oh, yes.
His Destiny, like we added up all the hours, and between Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, it's almost 6 months.
Holy fuck.
6 months of his life straight playing at the Xbox.
And you know what the thing is that game is the most repetitive game I've ever played.
I've never played it.
Oh, mate.
It's actually ridiculous.
I reckon
like-
if you add his Pokemon numbers to that, like you'd almost be at a year.
Yeah.
Like,
He's a big fan of Pokemon. So are you actually, Josh?
yeah.
I haven't played Pokemon Go in a long time.
Oh, really?
Oh.
The
Bigger and
game,
better
the game
things?
screwed me.
You've given it up. I'm proud
Yeah,
of you.
Can
I'll
I just
go
have
through.
your attention for a moment, please?
Yeah. Oh,
Nice,
yeah.
dude.
That's all.
Is that
Thank
rum?
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually got up this morning to, these guys know, but people listening won't, I had to build a fucking fence today. And I got up this morning, and one of my friends is Chippy, and he was the one building the fence. I was just carrying shit around for him, basically. And he said to me, when he first got there, we're like out the back, and he's like, "Oh, did you just do a beer burp?" I was like, "What?" He's like, "I can smell your burp. It tastes like smells like beer." I was like, "I didn't even burp. I just smell like shit."
Yeah. That's one thing about, I reckon, the rums. You absolutely reek after you.
Yeah.
He literally's like, "Oh, I smelled that burp." I was like, "I didn't burp."
I used to always be so self-conscious going into grilled on
Oh, the next day.
the next day because I was always on front of house running burgs and shit. If you're leaning over a table to put something down, and it's just like, oh, this cunt smells like a bar.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Why do you think
That was me at David Jones.
Why do you think I used to work at BWS? You'd walk
Yeah.
in hungover and smell like piss, but no one knows.
No one.
Yeah.
No one knows. Just you smell like,
Mate,
oh yeah, we're doing tastings.
Try trying to sell a
Tips of the trade.
$200 rod and gun button-up T-shirt. You're standing there swaying side to side. You can't even see.
That just sounds like a
the
bad
fact.
time.
The fact is
Yeah,
though,
it
the people you'd meet at the bottler, you'd feel bloody
Great about yourself.
yeah. Even if you had the biggest night ever, someone come in, they've already had their cask of wine by 12,
Yeah.
like midday, and you're like, could be worse.
You would have met some absolute characters at
Oh
BWS.
mate, and the worst, Darcy would have had the same at the bowls club.
Yeah, Windsor Bowls
Like,
Club. Shout out.
The alcoholics, I think they're like your mate,
Yeah.
just because you buddy selling them piss every day.
Yeah.
Like I don't like you. Like
Yeah. This relationship doesn't extend beyond these four walls,
yeah,
mate.
they try and have like a massive conversation with you, and like I'm not rude at all. Like you have
Yeah.
a chat and stuff, and they leave me like just,
Leave me alone, please.
and they stink like piss.
That's the worst thing about Windsor Bowls Club is they're not just there to buy their beer.
Yeah,
they're there
they have
all
to- and then they
fucking
would get
day, the
drunk,
same fucking
yeah.
people.
Well, this one guy literally came in once, smelled like actual piss, and then we found out that he shit himself around the corner.
As you do.
I had to ring the police, and he was slouched.
What did you say to the police?
He was slouched down outside the poor bloody Brumbies. These two 16-year-old girls are working there, and this old fella's just like slouched down like this. He's just bought his. I probably shouldn't have served him, to be honest. Sorry, liquor licensing.
Look, Elijah, if you're listening, please turn off now.
He's actually, to be fair, he's pretty. He bought 2 litres of Smirnoff, so that was his daily.
And he's already shit himself.
Yeah, that was it. That was his daily shush. I rang the police. I rang the Ferny Grove, and they're like, "Oh, we think we know who this bloke is." And they came, and they're like, "Yeah, well, he's had history. Like, apparently, when my sister used to work at BWS, this bloke shut on the floor."
Oh,
So, like, it's-
that ain't it.
yeah. So
He's
Actually-
the poo bandit.
Speaking of this sort of story, I'm not going to, before I tell the story, because you guys both know it, don't say a name, because I don't want to, like, plaster this dude's name anywhere
I thought it was
online.
going to be about me. I'm gonna
No. Do you?
Oh, 2 truths, 1 lie, mate. You wait.
Okay, cool. What about that year at Splendor?
When our mate made it on Triple J.
Yeah, so I remember waking up at Splendor and we were camping right near one of the walkways. So they had like all the tents and we had like a big marquee and all the tents around it, but then there was like probably like a 3 or 4 meter gap they leave in between that they mark out. And I got out of my tent and I nearly said his name just then. Our mate is laying face down and I was like, holy shit, he had a big one. And like I was like, haha, sort of laughed. I was pretty hungover myself and I went like sat in the chair and more people like got up and was like, oh, did you see blah, blah, blah? Yeah. And then a dude came over, like one of the marshals, and he was like, has anyone checked if that guy's breathing? And we all looked at each other like, shit. No, we haven't. Like, holy fuck. And we went over and this guy like poked him and stuff and he was like rolling around and he like gave us a thumbs up. So he was like alive. Remember they gave him one of those alfoil blankets? So he's just like sleeping.
I wasn't.
Oh.
How I found out about this was I was listening to Triple J. I'll let you continue.
Yeah,
but I'll
yeah.
chime in where I.
So he's laying on the ground with like an alfoil blanket over the top of him. And then the sun came up, so like, fuck, he's getting really hot, we shouldn't move him. So we dragged him in under our marquee and he slept there for another few hours. Anyway, eventually he got up and he was like swaying around. He was so sick. And he had this tiny little, it was a one-man like TP tent. It was so small. It was literally like waist height. And he just beelined it for this tent and just sprinted at it. And he had really long hair. And he jumped in like, fuck this time. Everyone was laughing at him. And then he's like rolling around like, what's he doing? And his hair was caught in the zipper. So he had scissors that he was cutting his hair out. So then I think after that, he's like, fucking just gave up. And he's standing directly opposite me at this table, like swaying. And one of our other mates, Ben's behind him. And I look at Ben and Ben's like, don't sit down. And I know he said his name again. He turns around and Ben goes, you've shit yourself. And then I remember he turned back and faced me and he sticks his hand down the back of his pants and looks at it and goes, like, and there was shit all over him. Like, oh,
I love that attitude. Like, oh, well,
it's
it's happened now.
disgusting.
I just
mate.
remember I was back up here in Brisbane and I was going down to footy and I just hear this. Oh yeah, we got someone down at Splendor. What's your Splendor story? Like, oh my God, there's 50 people standing around this tent. This guy shat himself and he's like throwing baby wipes of shit out of the
He
tent.
was. He was like, he literally, after it, he was laying in his tent, completely naked, wiping himself with baby wipes, throwing them out of the tent. And then once later that day, once he was like a little bit more together, he zipped his tent up and just dragged his whole tent to the garbage thing and left it there. So it's just all covered in shit.
Is there anything better than like festival stories?
No, nothing. There's literally nothing.
It's just oh.
God, we've had some.
Belters.
Us three together have had some interesting times at festivals.
Have we?
Some massive times at festivals.
Oh, yeah.
I'm never gonna live down that Rufus photo.
Yeah. There's a photo of Eden with his shirt off, kissing his girlfriend very passionately and at Rufus. And one of our other
raccoon, yeah.
mates in front of him's like pulling this face. So funny.
And Sammy,
that was a magical
every
night,
month
though.
he just brings it back into
Yeah.
the feed. Bump.
I love
Please,
it.
Let it die, please.
Please let it die.
Castaway Festival, that was a good
Oh,
one.
that was
so
great,
First
yeah.
time I heard What's Her Not's In a Bloom remix. He dropped it.
Yeah.
He dropped it before he
Released it.
released it.
I was
Unreal.
thinking, when you said festival, I was thinking the 2-day stereo that we did as well.
Jesus.
That was a big one.
Bring
That
it,
was-
bring it
yeah.
back. Rest
Do you
in peace.
remember actually at that stereo we saw that bloke who was dressed as
William Wallace.
William Wallace from what's the
Yeah.
movie? I was
Braveheart.
gonna say
Braveheart.
Castaway, not Castaway. Braveheart. And yeah, he had his face paint and stuff, and he was painting all of our faces with the handprints. And do you remember we saw him at another festival at like
same bloke.
yeah, and we
Yeah.
were like Braveheart, Braveheart, and he turned around, he's like, yeah, like, he remember us as well. Yeah,
That was so
Do you remember that
good.
guy's getting fly kicked?
yeah, that was pretty fucked.
That
Somebody got
was-
fully fly kicked.
That was the first time I saw someone get slug weird. There was like,
Yeah.
to paint the picture, at Stereo, we're watching Crookers, and there's just all this chip bark on the
Yeah.
ground,
Yeah.
and this bloke is just out of his mind, just on the ground with his face, just like being a slug going
Oh,
through
that would
chip
have hurt
bark.
so much.
And we were like, what the hell? And then this song was coming, and this dude just sort of came to life again, and he's standing there going around, and his mate's like, yeah, let's go. And on the drop, his mate just sprints at him, and old mate who was being a slug just gets fly kicked in the face.
Yeah.
And he's loving it. He just gets
Yeah.
back up, and he's just screaming and loving it.
Can
It
you
was one of the weirdest things
Can you,
I've ever seen.
Can you imagine when that bloke came back to Earth? How much bark he would have been finding?
Oh.
Like, he would have been in his bum crack for days.
I remember
like,
pulling like snot out of my nose after that festival, and it's
Yeah,
just all black, from all
black.
the dust. Yeah.
he'd be finding it in every bloody hole in his body. That bark.
We've actually been to a lot of festivals now. That I think about it.
Think about. Actually, don't think about the money we've spent.
Yeah, nah.
Worth it.
Worth it,
Worth it. Would do it again.
Probably
right
gonna go
now.
to Splendor next year. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to. The best thing about it is the pre's as well. I reckon.
Oh,
Like, everyone's getting together.
100%.
yeah.
Festival pre's are so fun,
Like everyone.
except for Wildlands.
What was Wildlands pre's?
I was just vomiting a lot.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
I was also dancing on Tim Wang's table.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was a good
I
festival. though.
always go way too hard though, and you get to the
Same.
festival, and then you suddenly just wake up the next day. And
Actually,
you're
I met big shout out. I met Jake Turpin at Wildlands.
like, oh, how was it? Was he a loose?
Honestly, the bloke is smaller than me. Like he's
Yeah, he.
wider than me,
Yeah,
but like shorter
shorter.
than me. I was like, and he hurts people.
Yeah.
He puts big hits on. I'm like, how do you do it?
I wish I knew how to like tackle. Like,
Oh, it's a skill I don't really need. Not that sad. I don't know how to do it.
I don't. I just put my body in front of
Yeah,
people.
yeah, slow 'em down, bit of a speed bump.
and then step on them.
Yeah, exactly.
Great bloke, Clutzy.
Yeah, well, you've got to sort of intimidate on the field. Right?
I'm not arguing.
It's
yeah.
it's not about skill. It's about
You
intimidation.
played football / soccer to us. How did you go about like intimidating on the field? Because you can't really.
Actually, I have one funny thing that I just thought of then. I remember in grade 12 playing against, I can't remember what school it was, and I was like defending this guy and he was running at me, and I was just sort of like jockeying him, like just staying with him. I wasn't trying to steal the ball, and he just dribbled it out. And I like went to pick up the ball and I just laughed at his face. And it was like right in the corner where the other schools, and this mother said, "Oh, that's not very sportsmanlike, number 9." And like gave me a spray from something, so I just laughed at this kid when he dribbled it out. She just dribbled it. I was like, "Ah, you fucking idiot." And she was like,
she was a Karen before
"Yeah,
her
thanks,
time.
Karen."
That'd be so frustrating because the bloke can't do anything back. It's kind of like you can't like if you push someone or you get a card and you're
Yeah.
off. Like,
We had a good one yesterday, actually. West scored a try against us, and I was like, all right, how can we intimidate someone? I was like, all right, what we're going to do, we're just going to put the ball up. We're not going to try and win the ball back. We're just going to smash the bloke who gets the ball. And then he's not going to want the ball again.
That's Queensland origin.
Yeah.
So,
Bomb it up in the air
bomb it
and
up and
punch
beat
someone.
the shit out of him.
so we were like, there was this poor little dude. He had black headgear on, and he was right on the a little bit back from the 10-meter line. And I was like, all right, sure, I'm just going to kick it to this bloke here. Everyone, we're going to kick it to this bloke here. And just started pointing at this guy. And I was like, see this fella here? We're not going to go for the ball. We're just going to go straight for him. And it was right in front of all the boys as well. So all the crowd started getting in. They're like, it's going straight to you, black skunk crap. Like, started getting into him. Unfortunately, our kicker kicked it over his head out on the full. And then old mate,
You would have felt like a real dick.
oh yeah,
Nice
and old
kick.
mate's just like, maybe you should get a better kicker. I was like, you were
Oh.
shitting yourself though, weren't you?
Yeah.
And his mate started laughing at him. And then I came off at half time for a breather because I definitely needed it.
Fuck, I'm surprised you made it to half
And,
time.
and I was like, all right, boys, we're kicking off. I was like, can we please single that guy out and kick it to him? Sure enough, they've kicked it to him, and old mate's just going like, looking everywhere, coughs the ball up hard, and we
Oh.
scored off of it. And I was like, well, there we go.
And then Clutzy stood on his arm.
Yeah.
There are three certainties in life: death, taxes, and I'm going to stand on your
Yeah.
fucking arm.
The WWE entrance
No,
entrances.
good fun.
Do you reckon you're a premiership chance this year?
Yeah, definitely, always.
I still remember your grand
Always.
final performance on the bench a couple of years ago. That was
Yeah, I did nothing.
How long will you bend it for if you win the premiership?
Well,
Can we get it on record right now? How long will you bend it for if you win the
I
premiership?
would just like to say, if you haven't read my blog on the Bender,
yeah,
the grand final weekend is the Saturday.
that's right.
So we're looking at least 10 days for a 5th grade Bender.
one thing you missed in that Origins on the Wednesday.
Yeah, oh yeah, I heard someone roasted before it, and I was
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry.
It's actually
Yeah.
it's incredible. Well, who knows what's going to happen in the Melbourne Cup and stuff. But
Yeah.
that week, like, take a week's leave now.
Bring it to Brisbane. Everything else from Melbourne's coming
Yeah,
to
running
Brisbane.
it.
Imagine if they did the Melbourne
The
Cup at
Doomben
Eagle
Melbourne
Farm.
Yeah, running it Doomben on the Go track.
Do it at the Albion Trots.
We need to get. Well, I want to go to the trots of the dogs.
It's one of the first places I drank like at a venue legally when I was 18.
Who weird.
Had Kahlua and Coke.
You would have been with Josh.
Yeah, my stepbrother watching the
knew it.
dishes.
Coke sucks.
It does suck. He's
Stra-
like, "What do you want?" I don't know.
Strangely frequents there a bit. Something.
Really?
His brother. Yeah.
Fuck, we should
My
go.
dad goes there
Let's go to
after every.
Sabo.
My dad, yeah, right. Hunter, I'm calling in sick, bro. Every time Dad goes to the horses afterwards, he'll be like, "All right, we're gonna go get a feed at the Brecky Creek, then we're straight to the dogs at Albion." Like, good on you.
Fuck, that's sick.
Sounds like such a it's a big day.
Mate, going to just any type of races is so good. Like it's just
Yeah.
just getting pissed and
You
It
are a
is
bit of a
great.
better, aren't you?
Huh?
You are a bit of a better,
yeah,
aren't you?
don't mind a punt.
Yeah, you don't
Um,
mind using your mates for marketing tactics either.
Yeah.
Eden works for the Tab, the dirty dog.
I was gonna say you've got an interesting pay structure at Tab.
Pay structure.
Yeah. So I've never seen an organisation that takes 1/3 of their employees' money back from their dog shit tips each year.
Yeah, I was actually thinking. I was thinking the other day, like I'm like an investor, really.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I work and then I sort of pump with the company I work for, and all my money just goes back in. I'm like,
yeah.
should I just like
Just skip the middleman, stop punting, and
yeah,
stop paying you.
Yeah,
It's a
like
smart
should I
business
Just work
model.
for free.
Yeah, so they just
Yeah.
take
it
that
is a
out.
smart business model.
It's pretty funny. They tell us like not to punt during work and stuff, but then you've got like guys pretty high up that are like just always on the horses.
Yeah, yeah.
It's ingrained in you, I reckon, if you work there. Like
Yeah.
it's probably not good, but
Mate, you don't even need to work there to have it ingrained in you.
yeah.
Literally, we have a group chat that's just about pretty much only about punting.
Yeah.
And then you get a couple of mates that just like pop up out of nowhere, be like, I had 500 on this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's
Or we
my-
just debate
yeah,
about
My
sauce
mate's
on
dad's
fries and shit.
granddad told him that
Sauce
his
on- Oh, yeah.
brother's uncle has this horse that's racing, and it's pretty sure.
Who was it that had the tip about MasterChef or whatever?
Oh,
Someone was saying that someone told them something about MasterChef and they put $600 on it, and the
Oh,
person
Jackson?
the person didn't even make the final.
Davies. There's always at the start of reality TV, they know the result, but there's always someone that apparently knows someone.
Yeah.
I once had one of those tips to me that someone knew someone at Channel 10, and like they were really confident, and within a day it was like into like $1.30 or whatever,
Yeah.
and I told all like the girls that watch that crap, like Steph and Laura and stuff, and I was like, yeah, girls, sure thing. Like, and they never punt. They're like, sweet, yeah. So they're like, they all like loaded up, put $100 in it or whatever, and all that. And they got to the person got to the final.
Didn't win.
They were the first person out of the car, and it was like, I don't love you. And,
Oh.
and then my phone just lit up, like all the
Yeah.
girls being like, what the fuck? And I'm like,
That's punting.
Oh yeah, well, I'm also like Channel
And
10.
that's how Tab makes their money.
I'm also like Channel
By rats like you.
But also like Channel 10, you sneaky fucks. They film like 2 endings and stuff now because stuff,
Oh, really?
yeah, stuff kept getting out. So they film like MasterChef. They'll film both people winning, so no one actually knows who wins. And
Fuck.
yeah, it's really they've brought in all these like tactics to try and fool people because
Can you imagine? Like,
You
You
not
win.
winning, and they're like, okay, we're just gonna
And they're- yeah.
film it again and pretend you did win.
Yeah, I
Can you
don't-
be happy?
yeah, I don't know how they do that. Like, do they say like you didn't win, but we need to film you like winning? Like, can you imagine how deflating that would be? Like,
maybe that's why they cry so much.
Yeah.
They're so depressed.
yeah, but yeah, so they're doing that with all the shows now. They're two endings. And
Really?
Stuff. Yeah. So if something gets out, like some people have been let go and stuff from those shows.
Really?
Yeah. If it's really like hectic, they want to.
Yeah, actually, I know someone who works on he works at Channel 9 and he does I'm a Celebrity, and he's like so
Yeah.
tight-lipped about it.
Yeah. Like they have a way of like tracing if stuff gets out
Yeah.
and stuff. So
Hectic.
but
Just people are ruining
people are
shows.
still gonna
People ruining shows. I don't like
people are
it.
still gonna punt on it anyway. So
Yeah. Speaking of people
Punt on
ruining
fucking-
shows, I've got a bone to pick
Do you?
with Daniel Ryan.
Do you?
Yeah.
Our good friend Dan.
Well, is he?
I like Dan.
down
I don't
I
know,
like
mate.
him. He's a good bloke.
Well, mate,
what's he done?
he's ruined the podcast twice now.
Oh, yeah. Fucking oath, yeah.
The first time came down to the Gold Coast. Darcy generously drove us down. Said he wouldn't jump on the podcast with Dan and Cam.
we
then he
we're all
wouldn't
sitting
shut
there, and
up.
all he had to do was put a microphone on.
Exactly.
And
so
he's
I
like,
don't want
no,
to
no,
say
I won't
anything.
say anything. And then all he did was fucking talk the whole time. So when you listen back to the audio, it's silence while Dan asks a question. And then Dan answers, but no one knows what the fucking question is.
All I can say is you've got a bone to pick with him as well.
Yeah,
don't
I
you?
do.
Yeah, there we go. And then
He's
last
also punching so hard.
week, yeah,
I've got a massive bone to pick with him because he thinks barbecue sauce is better than tomato sauce. And
Yeah.
that's just not
yeah,
good.
that's
not
rocks
okay.
in the head.
And
Yeah.
if you think barbecue sauce is better than tomato sauce, you're not my mate.
Yeah, and don't listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
because-
Yeah,
no,
fuck off.
please do. Please stay.
We're clutching at straws.
We'll take anything.
But yeah, and he ruined last week's as well by
Yeah.
jumping in as well. So
Yeah.
that's why we don't have a live audience this week.
Oh,
which is
I
probably a
also
good
just want
thing.
to apologise for my performance last week. I was shattered. I was sick as.
Were you?
Just didn't want to be here, to be honest.
Oh, it's alright.
How you feeling this week?
Great.
Yeah.
So
look
good.
good.
Yeah.
Look good. Feel
Surprised that I'm not hungover.
You
More
look-
hungover.
You look like you need a rum. To be honest. Like,
Oh,
we're at the Caxton. So.
no. I don't drink rum.
good. Last night you drank a lot.
Why were you on the rums last night?
You deleted.
I literally think I don't drink rum. I become the rum. I think someone just said, "Do you want a rum?" And I said, "Yep."
At least you don't turn into like an angry fuck. Like some people
Yeah.
get so aggro on it. You just turn into a sloppy drunk.
Yeah, I think that's most alcohol with me though.
You just
It was pretty funny last night. I got there, got my 3 rums, put them down, said get out of you. Then you walked off and you came back with 3 rums and you're like, you want a rum? I'm like, nah, mate, all good. I've already got that. Okay. All right, Jackson, you have a rum? No, I got one more to give away. Oops, saw another bloke across the room. You're like, definitely not giving him a fucking rum.
Really? Did I give all of them away?
Except for one.
Oh yeah, that's okay.
I just love that.
So that'd be a weird play,
in-
just
in
to
our-
buy 3 rums and give them all to people.
Yeah.
I love that in our group. It's like it's a normal thing to just go up and get 4 rums for yourself. Like,
Yeah.
Fucking alright.
Yeah.
Like Stranks deleted 9 rums in like 10 minutes the other day.
Yeah.
Just because.
That bloke's a menace.
Yeah.
The fishbowl cocktails.
I actually
last
was
night.
gonna go. Should I go
$100
through?
bucks.
Should I go through my bank statement from last night and read
Yeah,
it out on the
please do.
podcast?
Oh, this is incriminating, Darcy.
This
What?
doesn't even count because we had a few beers before as well, and Dan paid for them all. So
Oh,
I got to transfer him, but like they just won't be in here. I mean,
Oh, maybe retract the bone to pick with. Nah,
Yeah.
fuck him. Still got the bone to pick with him.
Farquhar Corporation $9.50. That's from today.
also beer.
Yeah. Paddington Tavern $14.11. So keep in mind these were doubles. So I'd buy 2 beers and give one to Duffy, and he would get me one. So every time I read
Yeah.
one out, I'm actually having 2 beers because he would get the next
True.
one. Paddington Tavern $14.11. Paddington Tavern $14.11. Paddington Tavern $14.11. Paddington Tavern $17.74. Paddington Tavern
Ooh.
$26.61.
That's 3 rums.
Paddington Tavern $14.11. Paddington Tavern $14.11. Ned's Bowen Hill $20. Ned's Bowen Hill $10. Uber $26.
Thing is, I think you go any 18 to 25-year-old male,
Yeah.
or even a bit older, you go through their bank statement on Sunday, and that's exactly what it says.
Yeah.
Pub, punt, pub,
Uber.
pub,
The
Uber.
only thing that was missing was Macca's or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, my weekend has been Farquhar 14, Hungry Jacks 27.95, transfer to Combank app 150.
What was that for?
So I could get. No, I transferred it back to my savings. Actually, I wasn't
Okay.
sure how much I'd spend last night, but then we got kicked out of the paddo, so that saved a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
16.75 on DD, 26.61, 26.61, 70.
Is that all at the pub?
26.61? Yep.
Read where they're from.
That's Paddington Tavern, and then I've got $9 Jeeps, $9 Jeeps, $12 Jeeps. Do you know how good's this? $3 beers at Jeeps.
Oh.
6 beers for $18.
That
Get
is
in there.
Fucked.
I actually.
value. That is
$9.
such good
$9.
value.
Three at a
I
time.
dead set reckon. We should plug it quickly. We're doing an event here at the Caxton Meetup on the 28th of August, but maybe second event should be down at Jeeps.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
That would be awesome.
That would be amazing. I actually said yesterday.
What? Eden just poured himself like a sip. That was so weird. Why didn't you fill your glass up?
I don't know. I was pouring like this because I didn't want to. I got no hands, and I was just going a little bit at a time because if I go too much, it'll just be all head, mate. And
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Yeah, it's fair.
know,
Freddie
like-
pulled
Play
that
on.
the other week.
Yeah, that was
there's
fair.
nothing worse than pouring a beer and it's all fucking head.
I actually am doing something.
Try
this
being a
year,
bloke that's all
though.
head
I'm gonna tally how many beers I have at Jeeps this year.
for the whole year.
I forgot why I'm doing it, but I was talking to Matt Muller yesterday, who's one of the managers down there, and I think I said that I put because we're talking about like fees or some shit like that. And I said
You
the
pay your
amount of
fees and
money that
beers.
I put back into this place,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Well, tell us how many beers you have at the end of the season." So that's 6.
Yeah.
6 down.
In 1 week.
Do you remember?
Yeah,
when,
but it was not many actually, to be honest.
Nah.
remember when Jeep on the Prem grade and we drank them out of piss?
Yes, that was actually. Have you heard this?
Yeah.
Insane.
hectic.
2018.
Didn't some other rugby club come and drop?
Brothers.
Yeah. Good on
They,
them.
Herbie went and got a taxi to Brothers, or drove a minivan there, and because Brothers, the only team they didn't have in the finals that year was their Premier grade team, so they were celebrating premierships in other grades and whatever.
Yeah.
But that was 2018 was the first time Jeeps had won first grade in 20 years or something like that, and yeah, we literally drank Jeeps out of piss, so he had to go pick up more from Brothers. And then the next day, we rocked up for Mad Monday, and I brought a carton of beer because I was like, oh, yeah, I'll just bring some down or whatever.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, at least there's going to be some free piss from the club. And we rocked up, and they had 5 beers. There's 5 beers left.
Must have been a great Mad Monday.
It was, yeah, well, and then, actually, shout out to Kate Jones.
Is she in Parliament?
Yeah,
Member for
Kate Jones,
Ashgrove?
member for Ashgrove. She sent one of her,
Let's not get
one of the
political.
people from the office. Oh, I don't vote for her because that's the only thing she's ever done for Jeeps is this. She got 5 or 6 cartons of beer for us,
Oh, nice.
and
That would have gone not very far.
no, well, there was some interesting
It
ones
lasted
there.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
There's 2 cases of Two to the Valley from Newstead.
Ooh.
They didn't get touched because footy boys aren't
Can't
going to
give 'em
drink
away.
craft beers, eh?
Yeah.
How times have changed.
Yeah. Look at us now,
yeah.
Mum.
But that was honestly insane. Yeah, I think Eden sent me home that night because I was too
I've got
fucked.
a video of you with your shirt off trying to get to the car and you couldn't walk in a straight line. And you
One of
just
those
walk,
nights.
you're walking going, we won the premiership.
Yeah. 6th grade and Prem grade.
You?
Yeah, but to be honest, I'd rather win the 6th grade premiership because you got an extra day to bend.
Fair
Because it's on
point.
the Saturday, not the Sunday. So it was.
But you've been through the week anyway, so what difference does it make?
What was that?
You've been through the week anyway, so what difference does it make?
Nothing.
Yeah.
None at all.
Yeah.
It was a good time. Hopefully we get a repeat this year. There'll always be a mark next to the 2020 premiership, I think. But
So actually, back to it. Just stare down the camera for me and tell me how many days you're going to bend for if you win the premiership.
10.
10.
10.
Nice.
It's on record.
He's going to document it on our TikTok as well.
Yeah. Oh,
Darcy, you can have,
jeez.
Darcy, you can have 10 days off then. Josh is in charge of content for those.
Yeah.
10
Yeah. Let him take control. Take control.
Jesus.
Get him on the
Oh,
Get him
can
on
you bend through into a
I was gonna say,
podcast?
get him on,
That'd be good.
get him
I'll bring Frady on with
Oh, God. So this week we have dual premiership winning 4th graders. Oh,
Yeah,
that'd be
that'd be
funny.
unreal.
7-day-old Josh. Just
Oh,
imagine the smell.
oh no thanks.
Yeah, I won't shower at all.
Oh,
I was
refuse to
worried. I
shower.
was worried you're gonna rock out last night without showering because you did say that to me, and I was like, oh.
I actually said to Rory and a couple of the other guys yesterday that I wasn't going to shower purely so I could go up and hug Eden
Oh,
and
yuck.
just annoy him because,
yuck.
yeah. few years ago at Falls, Eden cracked the shits because he was sharing a tent with me. And
Oh,
I didn't
fuck.
shower until the afternoon because
In the middle of summer.
in the
like,
middle of
Yeah.
summer because the lines are just too ridiculous in the morning.
Yeah.
You also went several days without showering in the middle of summer, which was fucking disgusting.
Oh, it's a
I
festival.
did that at Splendid though, but I
Yeah,
know it's
Splendid's
winter.
in winter. You
yeah.
don't really sweat. It's like the girls just use baby wipes.
I didn't. I've been to.
Yeah, no, I don't get around that.
I've been to
Oh,
5 Splendors and have never showered there.
That's pretty impressive.
Wednesday through to Monday as well. Every time.
I don't know.
That's awesome.
And I've never showered.
The showers are pretty
Actually,
rank.
one year I didn't even take a toothbrush. Didn't brush my teeth.
The only thing worse than the showers, the toilets.
Oh, those Splendid toilets.
It's actually insane.
They are fucked.
I actually have
to be,
nightmares about
actually
other
have
people's poo touching my rim.
You have to actually be blind to go there.
By the Sunday, they're filled up. Like,
Yeah.
There's no drop.
If anyone hasn't been to Splendor,
This isn't a drop toilet.
Yeah.
This is flat.
if anyone listening who hasn't been to Splendor, they're literally like composting toilets, and it's just a hole in the ground.
But
It's
just
fucked.
imagine
It's
20
literally as bad as you think it is.
20,000 hungover people
Oh.
doing it. Oh god,
It's
But-
disgusting.
I realised
It literally
you don't
makes you
have to
hold
go
on
to
to
them.
shit.
You don't have to go to them though.
Yeah.
There's portable toilets in the
Yeah, but they're
festival.
not that good either.
I
It's better than.
Yeah,
I
true.
don't breathe out my nose when I go in
Yeah.
there. I can't.
Actually, there's portaloos. Last time I was at Splendor, there was portaloos in the campground as
Yeah.
well. I projectile vomited in one. So our friend.
Why did you go to the toilet? Well,
It's close.
Did it just come on? I was done. Like just do it in the. Oh, remember,
Oh no, I didn't want to vomit in the campsite. That's fucked.
do you remember me in the last Spender?
Yeah.
Shut it.
Yeah. All you hear from Eden's tent. Shut.
5 a.m. 5 a.m. I woke up the whole campsite
Yeah.
screaming, "Shut it!"
Just vomiting.
That was when I locked Hurdy's keys in the car.
Oh, that is a funny story.
I
We're packing up from Splendor and we're all just so defeated. We all go down on the Wednesday night and there's literally nothing on. We just get blind, and then continue that through from Wednesday to the following Monday. And on the Monday, everyone's so like just sad to be going home and also broken.
Yeah.
And I remember carrying shit to my car, and you were coming back, and you just looked white, like you just looked fucked.
Yeah.
And you look at me and you're like, do you know how to break into someone's car? And I was like, what? You're like, do you know how to break into someone's car? I was like, why? And you're like, oh, I think I just locked out his keys in his car. And I just went, ah!
It was.
I literally put my shit down and watched you go and tell her because I wanted to see his face.
He just walked away.
Saddest man in
yeah,
Australia.
it was that morning that I'd been vomiting as well. Like,
Yeah.
I was so hungover. And I don't know. I put the bags in the car and I put the keys down on top of the bag, I think, and just shut it, the boot. And as soon as I did it, I was like, oh shit. And I was like, oh, surely like the boot will just open up again. And his car fucking it locks itself like straight away. It's one of those European bloody cars, and
Must be nice.
Must be very
yeah,
nice.
Duncan heard. But yeah, and I realised I was like, oh no. And then I was like walking back, and I was like, how do I break into it? I was like, do any of our mates like?
Yeah, you like, does anyone have coat hangers? I was like, no, we don't even shower, let alone bring coat hangers.
And yeah, that happened. Then he didn't have spare keys. He doesn't have any spare keys for his car. And I spent an hour trying to coat hanger it out.
Yeah, and
So
we're Googling
someone
and
actually
shit.
gave me a coat
Yeah.
hanger. And
The
then-
funniest thing was we were all standing there like, oh, what can we do? And then it got to stage like we literally can't do
Yeah,
anything, so we just all left. Just
we
left you guys there.
we were the last car in the Splendor car park.
And like the best thing was we
Last
packed it,
car.
we put all our care outside away, so you're just sitting in the sun all day.
Yeah. Oh, it was hot that day as well. So I spent so long with this coat hanger trying to do it, like looking it up, and I was getting so sunburnt. Like I get sunburnt. I get sunburnt in a room like this, and I was like beetroot, hungover, just so ill.
Didn't you vomit in his car on the way home?
Yeah, that's where I'm getting to, John. And his poor brother had to drive down from Brisbane
Yeah.
because he had a key that would unlock it. So
Yeah.
he drove down from Brisbane. It was literally like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Like we'd been
And
there
everyone left at
we'd
like
been there for 6
10.
hours. I had a nap on the grass behind the car.
Yeah.
And eventually, got in the car and I wanted to get in a hole and die. Like I hated my life. And then we stopped at Macca's on the way home, and I wasn't going to eat anything because I didn't feel great. And then Shannon goes, "Oh, you should probably eat something. Like you might feel better." I was like, "Oh yeah, you're probably right." So I just went in. I got like a cheeseburger meal, like
Yeah.
nothing, like smallest meal. Ate it. I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right." Got in the 10 minutes down the highway. I'm like, "Oh god." And I like looked around. There's nothing. And then I grabbed. And Hody didn't have time to pull over. We were on the highway. I grabbed Shannon's parents' sleeping bag and just ripped it open. Just vomited all through it, but the vomit was so big it filled up. It filled up the sleeping bag, and it got to a point where it was overflowing onto me. And Hurdy's just driving there. This is literally Hurdy at the time. Hurdy did not bat an eyelid. He did not bat an eyelid. And I literally was projectiling in his car. It was like all over me. Shannon's parents' sleeping bag was never used again. Like all through his car. And then I'm covered in vomit. I'm like, I was like, he's like, oh. And then Hurdy just goes, I think I should pull over. In like straight deadpan. He pulls over in the Underwood train station car park just off the highway. I get out of his car covered in vomit. It's peak hour time, so it's 5 p.m. So everyone's coming home from work on a Monday. They're all getting off the train. I strip down to my undies and I start scooping up vomit out of the passenger side of the car. I ended up dumping some of my clothes like in the car park. And then
He's still there.
Yeah, I got back in the car in my undies and like it stunk like vomit. Probably the worst bit.
You are the worst bloke.
Probably the worst bit is though, on the way after all that happened, like I'd scooped a lot of it out and stuff. It was disgusting. Shannon's dry reaching in the back, going, and I've rung Dad up after this whole thing. I'm like, Dad, I need cleaning products. Can you please greet me in about half an hour with Dettol and just anything antibacterial?
Yeah.
He goes, what have you done? I was like, I just vomited all through Hurdy's car, and the disappointment in his voice. You know when you like, I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed.
Yeah.
It feels so worse.
Yeah.
Dad just goes, oh, Eden. And I was like, I'm sorry, Bernie.
I could hear that in his voice as well.
I was like, I'm sorry, Bernie. And we got home, and he just came out, put a bucket down with the stuff in it, and just walked back inside. Didn't even acknowledge me. And then for the next half an hour, I'm just scrubbing Hurdy's car in my undies, covered in vomit. Like,
why did you put more clothes on?
I didn't. I was so full of shame. I was like, I deserved it. I deserved this. Like
Public humiliation.
yeah. And then there was like the dread, and then poor bloody Hurdy. He was going overseas the next day. So
Yeah, that's
No,
right.
well, not the next day. That night.
that night,
11 p.m. that night.
So he's had to.
You can't make this shit up.
Yeah,
You cannot make
he's
this
had
shit
to.
up.
So after all that, he's had to get to the airport. He's had to leave his car with the windows open while he's away, so like an air out.
The other thing is that was also the day after that Darcy jumped on Hurdy's
Yeah.
back and fucked his knee.
Yeah. I
So
thought
this
I broke
poor
his
bloke
leg.
in the face of
supposed to go-
24 hours.
Supposed to go surfing in the Maldives or something.
Yeah, couldn't go surfing.
He
'cause
was
his knee
facing me,
fucked.
and I jumped to hug him, and he caught me, and then we were falling, and we both just heard this snap, and we hit the deck, and we were face to face, and I was like, "Did you just break your leg?" And he's like, "I think you just broke my leg," and I was like, "Oh my god!" We're in the amphitheater of Splendor,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Holy shit!" And everyone trying to pick us up. I was like, "No one touch Duncan. Everyone move away."
Yeah.
And I made him stick his leg out, and I was like, I was like rubbing his leg.
Dr. Darcy.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh," he was so blind as well.
I
He ended up doing squats. No, it's fine. He's like doing squats. It was
I
not
can't believe
fine.
how well he handled it. Like I would
Do
have.
you know how I
Mate.
imagine that car ride?
Oh.
Is, you know when Homer leaves New York and he's driving along behind the fucking garbage truck?
Yeah.
And he's just,
It's
just
like
hurting.
that's it. Back to Winnipeg.
Yeah.
mate.
Dead sad. I would have left you in the fucking Splendor cab. Literally the only, like, locking the
That
keys
was
in the
bad,
car
mate.
I would have been like, "I hate you so much."
It-
And then you vomiting in my car would have been the straw that broke the
It
camel's
sucked because
back.
it was such like, like you know when you know
you've done it before. Multiple times.
You
not
vomited
just
in my
Splendor.
mum's car as well.
and Darcy's dad.
And my dad's.
Oh yeah, on the way.
And my car. Not in my car, but in a bag.
Yeah,
in
when
my car.
me and Clutch were 18, we coached like the grade 5 coloured cricket team. They
Yeah.
were
The
absolute,
shittest cricket team ever.
they were absolute spuds.
You're all 18 now, and you can accept the fact
Oh,
that
mate.
you were terrible.
Yeah, these are the kids.
Atrocious.
These are the kids that just shouldn't play sport. Like,
Yeah.
Anyway, I remember what it was after. Zach Tennant's 18th. We went to his place and I drank golds all night because I knew I had to umpire this stupid game the next day. I drank golds all night. Ended up drinking like 20 golds, and then
Legend.
I was so dehydrated the next day. Thought it was alright. I didn't actually feel bad. Stand in the sun for like 2 hours.
Oh yeah, that'll do
I
it.
had to walk off umpiring midway through, walk past all the parents and go yak in the toilets. And then I came back and kept umpiring. And then, yeah, Clutzy's dad picked us up. And on the way home, I was like, "Oh, Mick, you got to pull over." And then I like just as he pulled over, like flung the door. Some got on the door, and I was like vomiting on the side of Kelvin Grove Road. Just
Nice. When did you
Yeah.
vomit in my dad's car?
maybe it wasn't that. Maybe I'm thinking of Kelly.
Yeah.
You know what's fucked is that where we pulled up for you to vomit. So for those out there, I date Eden's cousin, Erin.
Shit bloke.
Yeah, shittest bloke. So we were coming.
She looks a little like Eden, so it's a bit weird.
Not weird at all. You've literally just cracked the code. Booyah! But nah, so Dad was dropping myself and Erin to my car one day, and she was crooking the back of the car. And we're driving along. She goes, "Oh, Mick, I'm going to be sick." So he pulls up in the side road, and she's throwing up. And I was like, "Huh,
It must be. Yeah.
this is where Eden threw up 6 years ago."
Erin does love a vomit.
She does.
Yeah.
I
She
don't
used to
think
look for sympathy, and then I was just sort of like, "You've done it to yourself." So now it'll just be
Yeah.
like, she'll be walking along, she'll be like, "1 second," and just like throw
I
up.
can't do that. When I vomit, it's like a full body thing.
Same.
Like it's like, ugh, like.
I don't think I've ever vomited in a car though, in someone's car.
Oh yeah, it's not
Yeah,
great.
no.
I wouldn't.
I've been
recommend
driving in the back of Sam's car. Sam was dropping me home, the old commie, on Stafford Road with, when you're driving and you open the door while you're still moving, just going, just shut the
it.
door.
Oh, I've got to throw Shannon under the bus here. She
Yeah.
we Easter last year we went to the footy and then we kicked on Liam. Keno was having drinks, and she hit the UDLs, the fucking idiot. And she was so hung the next day. And she had to go drop me in my car, and I felt fine. Drop me in my car, so I get texting her. I just vomited all over myself in my car while I'm driving. So she was driving. She was driving.
Pull over.
She was driving, and she's just going, and just all over herself, all over like the steering wheel, all over her clothes, and she had to drive home. She vomited at the Gap. Had to drive home to the Gap, so that's half an hour just sitting in it. And apparently she rang her sister and was like, "Please help me, like greet me."
Actually, do you remember that time we did something and it was at your place, and the next day, or was it Sam's place? And the next day we had listen out prees, and I drove us all back to my place for listen out prees.
Yeah.
And I had remember my fuel dial was on 0, but we
Yeah.
went to get home, so I didn't fill up. So we're rolling the dice, and I had to pull over and vomit that day.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty shit story.
What-
honestly.
Why do we do it to ourselves?
Yeah.
It's
We're
fun.
like 52 minutes in, and Eden hasn't done his 2 truths and a lie yet.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I feel
fuck. What are they?
Are we 52 minutes in?
Yeah, we are. Well, maybe not, because we chatted shit for a bit
Maybe
at the
50.
start. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought I'd a bit of an overseas theme here.
Yep. Nice.
So I lost my passport in Las Vegas.
Yep.
I high-fived RL Grime in Las Vegas during a
Yep.
set. And I almost shit myself in Paris and had to do a poo
Yep.
in the bushes under the Eiffel Tower.
So you
pretty
didn't lose your passport.
I don't think you lost your passport.
I lost my passport in Las Vegas when I went for work. For the
Oh,
US.
so you didn't high five RL Grime. Oh.
But we did see him and we did.
Fuck,
Yeah.
that was
We've been
greatest
stitched up
set
again with the
ever.
slight light. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, I was there, but I don't remember.
yeah. I knew you were there. Can we tell the Paris story, please? Though
This is what I was talking about before when I was like, oh, I thought you were going to throw me into the bus.
I can't believe I didn't think about
I
this.
didn't even know if I wanted to release this information. Oh, okay, so
This
I
is fucked.
it's so bad.
You've done this twice as well. You've done it since. Anyway.
Yeah. So I really, really enjoy lactose, even though I'm intolerant to it. And
Don't we all?
Yeah. And in that,
But you don't like thick shakes. Anyway.
Another
Another time. Not the time. Nor the place.
but I do like sauce on pies.
Yeah, okay.
I do too.
Yeah, so it was like really, I was with Shannon, like really nice. Like we got to Paris, and I was
Shannon's Eden's girlfriend, if anyone
yeah,
doesn't know.
for
that
anyone
as well.
I've been talking, yeah. No, it's just a random. But nah. So we having a nice little romantic time under the Eiffel Tower.
Must be nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a few wines, sitting in the grass and all that. Like it was really nice. Sun was setting. This is great. And then I just feel something. I'm like, oh God, I need to go to the bathroom.
I'm touching cloth.
Yeah, but it wasn't touching cloth. It was like it was gonna be. I could tell it was gonna be an explosion. Like it was not good. And this was like 2 weeks into
Soaking cloth.
2 weeks into our Europe trip. So my diet was atrocious.
Yeah.
I drank so much alcohol, and to top things off, that day I had milk in my coffee because it was yum.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh God, this is no good. I was like, oh Shannon, I'll be back. And then I got up and I don't know if anyone's ever been to the Eiffel Tower. There's one set of toilets, one toilet block, and there's like 2 toilets, and the line is so long. I got there and it was like I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do here. Like, do I just run in? Like, so the line was probably like 50 meters long, and I was like, I'm going to shit myself. And I had to make a decision. I was like, what do I do here? Like, do I just cop it and say to Shannon we need to go home, or? And I was like, no, there's a way around this. I looked around, and there's like really nice gardens under the Eiffel Tower as well. And I was like, it was like fenced off, and I was like, yeah, fuck it. And I ran up, snuck over to the fence and just like put a leg over, and I was like, oh god, jumped over the fence and went into the bushes a bit. There's like trees and stuff, and it's really quite nice and private. And then I was like, I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm in Paris, for God's sake, at the Eiffel Tower. And yeah, I did the deed in the bushes of the Eiffel Tower.
Did you wipe your ass?
Yeah, with leaves. Someone said to me, "Why don't you use your jocks?" And I was like, "Look, I was panicked. Like, I was like,
Jocks
I was
have been a
like
good
looking
option.
around.
Just
Can you
leave
imagine?
them there.
Can you imagine if someone I got like arrested in Paris for
For
shitting.
and literally,
That'd be
I
so
could like
funny.
hear people walking past in the park, like talking and stuff. Like, it's such a nice setting. Meanwhile, I'm like 10 meters away, just
Doing a shit.
yeah, like,
Exploding at your ass.
yeah. And I
You've
like,
done that in Mount Cootha as well.
yeah, I know.
Can you imagine being at the top of the Eiffel Tower and you look
Is
down?
that guy doing a shit?
It's just I text Shannon and I was like, fuck. And she goes, she literally, this is her exact words back to me. She goes, did you just shit in the bushes? I had not mentioned it to her or anything. I was like, you know me way too well. And I came back and I was like, hand sanitizer now. She had hand sanitizer.
yeah.
Luckily she had sanitized up.
Play
Then
on.
yeah, spend another couple of hours there drinking wine like nothing ever happened. Sunset, tower lit up. Yeah, and
That's so
I just had to laugh really.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, well, my choices were shit my pants or
Yeah.
and really like it's
That nearly happened to me in Barcelona.
yeah. When you've been drinking and eating shit for so long,
Yeah.
your body just like gives up. It's
Yeah.
just like, and it's as nature and
Yeah.
it's as nature intended as well. Really.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, so that was a real low point of the holiday.
You've had some interesting overseas experiences.
Oh god, what are you going to bring up?
I was going to say, so Eden and I did our 21st trip to America together, and we did this Santa pub crawl in Boston.
I forgot about this. Yeah.
And holy shit, it was wild. So one of a mutual friend of ours was over studying at Boston College, and he's like, oh, just come on this pub crawl. You pay $50, you get a Santa costume, and a couple of free drinks at each venue. One of the loosest nights I've ever had, just going around Boston. Anyway,
Like 100 Santas just walking in Boston.
and it was so cold.
Shit
And
faced.
I lost Eden. And then I saw someone lying down in this alley, just like passed out. And I was like, oh no, that won't be him. I need my pizza. And so I keep walking to the 7-Eleven, because over in America, you can go to 7-Eleven and for $5, they get a whole pizza and they cook it there for you.
Oh, sick.
And it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that was
So
that was
good.
Clutch's breakfast and bit.
So
breakfast, lunch,
all
dinner.
I could think about was, I need to get pizza.
Pizza.
So I didn't even think about the dude passed out in the thing. But then I think I had this realization. I was like, hang on, that could actually be Eden. So I
Yeah.
went back and he was stumbling everywhere coming out of this alleyway. And then he was cold as, and I was like, what the fuck? Anyway, I was like, all right, let's just go get something to eat, then we'll go back. And he's like, no, I'm going to keep going. And I was like, no, like, let's go get something to eat, and then we'll go back. And he refused. So he just ran off and jumped in this cab. And I was like, oh, what the fuck? So I'm just by myself in Boston at the marina,
7-Eleven.
That's
at
what-
the 7-Eleven
that's-
eating pizza. And then I got back, and one of the other boys we were with, Jackson Tanner, he was already back, and he'd gone to another pizza place. And it was funny, these 3 chicks thought they picked up this Australian guy, but he just wanted to get to the centre of town so he could get to New York Slice, their version of New York Slice before it closed. So then he's rocked back up with his pizza, and we're sitting there watching some sport or whatever at like 3 a.m. in the morning, just thinking this is awesome. And we go,
Where's he?
fuck, where's Eden? Hadn't seen him for ages. And we're trying to text him. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? And then we gave it a call, and his phone picked up. He's hello? I'm like, hello, who's he? Are you friends with the Aussie? I'm like,
Yes.
yeah. She's like, it was just this like chick with the thickest Boston accent. She's like, "Yeah, I just dropped him in a park and he was fucked." And we're like, "Okay." She's like, "Yeah." All they could say was he was in Back Bay. So we were like, "Okay." And we're like, "Where the fuck is he?" She's like, "We're like, can you?" She's, "Oh, the phone's about to die. It's on 1%." We're like, "Can you go back to where you dropped him, see if he's there, and then bring him to this address, and we'll pay?"
I'm like a child.
Yeah, literally. And then
Going
anyway,
for Bernard here.
he
This one.
she's like, "Oh, like, look, like, it's really out of my way." I was like, "We will pay and we'll tip you
Whatever you want,
Yeah,
yeah.
like, we'll just give you a good tip." And so she went and picked him up, dropped him back, and I was like, "Mate,
You're fucked.
what the fuck?" And he's like, "What are you going about, man?" And I was like, "Oh my God, you are so annoying."
Clutzy.
And I was so angry because he didn't want to tip the chick. And I was like, "Bro, she's found your phone, she's picked you up, she's brought you back. We're in the middle of somewhere where we don't fucking
she
know
could
where
have
we
killed
are."
you.
And then he's like, "Nah." Now, I've got a really good memory with numbers. And to get into our
It was a
apartment block,
pig.
it was numbers.
Yeah.
And Eden's like,
I had no
just
idea.
having a go at me about something. And I was like, "All right, we'll have fun out in the snow." So I like
He locked me
put
out.
in the numbers and locked him out. I just stood in the doorway and looked at him and
Yeah.
just went,
He,
and I walked back upstairs.
that night, yeah. So I lost my I lost Dad's jacket that night as well.
Oh, yeah,
Dad,
I've heard
Dad
about
gave
that,
me like
yeah.
his $300 jacket, and I lost in the alleyway that night. Never found it, so that's another thing that he still brings up. But yeah, so
I've actually heard him bring that
yeah.
up.
So I didn't have a jacket. It was snowing, and
Yeah.
I was out. And then I met these blokes from Texas who were staying in the same complex. They let me in. Ended up in their apartment, and then I could not remember what number our apartment was, and I left their apartment, and I stood there, and I was like, I have no fucking idea. And I went up, I knocked on someone's apartment, wasn't ours. Some person that answered it was like,
What the fuck?
Yeah, well, who are you?
Yeah.
It was like 4 a.m. I ended up sleeping in the hallway on the stairs, and I woke up because people were like walking over me like to go about their business, and I was like, this is a real low point, isn't it? Like,
The most fucked thing though was we all got up to go do something the next day, and we're walking down the stairwell, and we're like, "Holy fuck, you went through a wall." And there was just this massive hole in the stairwell, and we were like, "Oh my God, what did you do?" He's like, "I don't know, it probably wasn't me. It could have been the guys from Texas." And we're like, "Bro, you slept in the stairwell. It's definitely you."
I think I passed out into the wall and put a hole in the wall. And then I slept on the stairs on an angle. Like, I didn't sleep on the flat bit. Like, I slept like that. And I woke up with the sorest back. And I was like, I knocked on our door at like 7 o'clock because when I was a bit more sober, I remember. I was like, Tanner came down and let me in. And I was like, don't ask, bro. I just went straight to bed.
It was at that point that I realised we're 5 days into a 40-something day trip. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Really
we're in for a
set the
big
tone,
one.
didn't it?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was absolutely
Yeah.
ridiculous.
It
So
was fun.
I loved it.
I love drinking piss every night. And
Yeah. How good's travelling?
yeah, too bad we can't do it
Yeah.
for a while, I reckon, as well.
Also, we're probably going to wrap up soon, I'm guessing. We're
Yeah.
over now, but Clutzy and I were talking. I think this one that we're recording on a Sunday, which will be out tomorrow, Monday, will be episode 15 or 14. I can't
Yeah.
remember. When we get to
Oh.
number 100,
Oh yeah, big announcement.
big announcement. We're going to get Cam Munster on the podcast.
Yeah.
Mudguts.
Does Cameron know about this?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, of course he does. Cameron Munster listens every week.
You
So
know,
yeah.
you know who would be so good to get on? Hectic Cheese.
Yeah, Brandon
Oh, maybe we
Smith.
should get Hector Cheese and Cammy Munster.
Actually, if anyone's listening and they have suggestions about people we can get on for the 100th episode, it's still like 2 years away if we do one a week. But yeah,
Hectic Cheese, Cameron
we thought
Munster.
if we
Yeah.
start saying it now and putting it out into the
Yeah.
world, it'll just
It's
happen.
85, 86 episodes of Jang us up.
Yeah.
So yeah, Cam Munster.
If
thank
anyone,
you.
actually, that can be another task. If anyone has any connections at all to the Melbourne Storm, let us know because we need to start working on
Yeah.
getting Cam Munster.
Yeah.
You would be the biggest fan. You wouldn't even say it. You just sit there and be like,
I would want to get on the piss hard with him.
Yeah.
No cameras allowed. I'd leave my phone at home. I would come with a fair amount of cash, and we would just see where the night takes us.
they're all pretty big punters, all the Storm boys.
Yeah,
Like,
they are.
so-
Punters, basketball. They've started their own basketball card company.
Yeah.
They're killing it in that. It's ridiculous.
What could have been, boys?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're just enjoying.
Well, actually, it's weird, but shout out to what's the thing called? 4 Point Collectibles.
4
Hey?
Point Collectibles.
Sponsor of this week's podcast.
Yeah.
It's
Massive
crazy.
shout out to 4 Point Collectibles.
Yeah,
we'll
thanks
give
for
you a little plug on the page and
Yeah.
plug on the potty. So
And I'd just like to reiterate that we were at the Caxton.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a lovely venue. Not the
It is.
Paddo.
Not the Paddo.
Not the Paddo, because the Paddo won't be open.
Yeah. Because people walk behind the bar and pour their own beers. Eden.
Why am I like this?
Yeah. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
To be honest, it was so funny. Like,
I thought, when you're like, you're pissed and
No,
you,
don't know about it.
and I don't know, you think you're being so like smart and sneaky, and I was thinking about the other. They would look at their cameras and be like, "Look at this dickhead."
Yeah,
Like,
fucking
I literally
moron.
like put the jug behind it, turned the tap on, and was like, and like face the other way and pretended I wasn't doing anything,
Yeah.
and like flick the tap back, grab the
Yeah.
jug, and they're probably looking at it going, "You
Idiot."
absolute
Yeah.
dickhead." Like,
Yeah.
But I mean,
But now you're banned, so who's laughing?
I wouldn't want to pay for 2 years new anyway, so
Yeah.
that's alright. But 4x gold on the other hand.
yeah,
Every day of the week.
Yep.
mother's milk.
Okay, on that note.
Yeah. Anything else, Clutzy?
Nah, look, what a rappy cracking time. I can't really talk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been great. Thanks for
thanks
having
for
me.
coming,
Thanks
mate.
for coming
Yeah,
on.
it's a good
It's
way,
been- it's
good way
been
to spend
lovely.
a Sunday, arvo.
I know.
It is.
Unreal.
I've I've got to shoot to work. So
Oh,
Yeah,
sucks.
fuck.
that
That
sucks.
sucks.
Are you gonna have a beer to us or
I'll have one more.
one more? Go
Yeah.
see, I think, a few boys downstairs. So.
Yeah, I need to export this video, but
Yeah.
I can have that chat off air because it's not very
Yeah, it's not very
exciting.
interesting.
Yeah. Although, in saying that, we've been going for an hour and 6 minutes, and I don't think any of it was very interesting.
So I won't be back on the podcast.
I don't think it was you. I think it's just the podcast in general.
I'm surprised we're back every
yeah,
week.
same.
But yeah, no, thanks for coming on, mate. It's been awesome.
Rip off.
Guys, thanks for listening. Really appreciate it. If you could share it with 3.75 people, that'd be sick.
Oh, we're joined by a King of the
Oh
North.
my god, look at this guy.
Yeah, welcome.
Congratulations, mate.
We're
Saturday,
we're
another
just-
day,
we're
another
just,
North's loss, eh?
Just signing off. Would you like to say anything to the punters before we go?
I'm the King of the North. How are we? Where are we looking? That one? Can that see me?
Whichever one you want.
Can that one? No. That's over at
Hang on,
Clots.
give us 2 seconds.
What are you doing? What's up?
Do you want to give a shout out to anyone?
I don't know.
The-
What should I do?
the
I
Caxton?
like your shirt.
Thank-
I'm on the
thanks,
spot.
mate.
That's a lot. I'll give a shout out to.
Yeah.
Sorry, you guys are just finishing, weren't you?
Yeah. I reckon everyone's already turned off by now.
Yeah,
if
they
they're
probably would
listening,
have. I'll give a shout out to Connor Chittenden, who's the real King of the North. That's a good one, isn't it? He's down in Sydney playing footy. Fucking great bloke. I want you back. Alright, yes.
Thanks for that, mate. Thanks, guys.
See you in a tick.
Tune in next week for more very below average content. Bye.
Sorry, I really enjoyed getting up today. Bye.